In this free training, we're going to talk about how to scale your personal brand so that ultimately you can reach more people, create more impact in the world, and ultimately make more money. Now, a couple of things that we're going to cover right now. Start with goal setting. Then we're going to get into the importance of having systems and structure. We're also going to talk about how critical it is to have professional marketing and sales, the importance of making sure you're always networking within your industry, and last, we're going to cover how to properly delegate and outsource. Now, goal setting is something that we've all heard before, but the reason why most people typically struggle to achieve a goal, and if you're anything like me, you've probably set a New Year's resolution and not actually achieved it. And the reason why most people fail to achieve their New Year's resolution goals and goals in general is because they're not setting SMART goals. SMART is actually an acronym. The S stands for specific. You need to make sure that when setting a goal, you're setting a goal that is specific, meaning you know exactly what it's going to look like when you achieve it. Instead of saying you want to lose weight, say how much weight you want to lose and get into the details of exactly what you're going to look like. Be very specific when setting any goal. The M stands for measurable. You want to make sure that you're able to actually track and measure progress towards that specific goal. The A stands for actionable. You need to make sure that you have an action plan in place so that you properly know what necessary actions need to be taken to be able to track and measure your specific goal so you know that you're making progress and you have a proven action plan. The R stands for reason. You need to have powerful reasons why you're going to achieve your goal. A lot of research shows the importance of having a big reason why you will achieve something dramatically increases the odds of your actual achievement. And so make sure you write down in detail the emotional reasons why you're going to achieve your SMART goal. And the last one, for T, stands for time frame or time bound. You need to make sure that your specific goal has a time frame of which it will be achieved in. So when you follow SMART goal setting, you dramatically increase the odds of actually achieving your goals. So in the context of talking about scaling your personal brand to reach more people, impact more lives, and make more money, what we're really talking about is making sure that you have a specific goal, a SMART goal, that you know is the intention behind why you're going to scale your personal brand. And as we move into systems, you need to have a clear idea of what your goal looks like so you can create the systems, the structure, the organization behind the achievement. For example, if you know that you want to build $1 billion company, as a reference, you're going to need to have a lot of people, a lot of systems, a lot of organization behind $1 billion business. Because the bigger the goal, there's a good chance the bigger the systems. And all that really means to you is that once you know what your goal is, you can start to identify the organization, the structure, and the systems that will be required to scale your personal brand. And so if you think about it like this, systems, organization, and structure, if you work at a job or a company right now, you probably fall into some category within the structure and the organizational chart of how that business operates. They have an accounting department. Those people stay over there. They don't go into the sales and the marketing department because they're separate structures and systems and processes within the organization. And so what happens is when you don't have systems, you don't have structure, you start to do all the different tasks in your business to achieve the specific goal. You start to do all the tasks when trying to scale your personal brand. You could film content, write content, upload content, promote content, get sponsors, have a show, write a book. There's so many things you could do for your personal brand and your content strategy. That doesn't mean you should be doing all of those things because, as I mentioned later in this video, we're going to talk about the importance of delegating and outsourcing, which falls into your systems, organization, and structure. Because ultimately, what we're really talking about with systems and organization is you figure out what you're best at. What is your highest income and impact skill sets. So for example, once you've identified what you're the best at and have the greatest skill at, that's what you should stick to doing, and you should create a system and a checklist that's going to have other people be able to do the other necessary tasks. The CEO runs the company and hires individuals to fall into different places within the structure and the system so that the CEO can focus on what they're best at. And that's what we're talking about. You need to become the CEO of your personal brand. Figure out what other roles and positions need to be filled. Another good way of looking at the importance of organization and structure is think about if you sit down at your desk at work. If it's very dirty and it's very unorganized and there's stuff everywhere, research shows you're going to be less productive, you're going to procrastinate more, you're going to be less motivated and less focused, and therefore you're going to not achieve the goals that you have set. So when you know the goal that you want, you just need to become more organized and working towards achieving it so that all the clutter of life and business and work can at least have a clear path to your goal and nothing can get in the way. If you come home to a dirty, unorganized home, research shows you're going to have more stress. You're going to have less focus and attention to get the things done that need to help you progress towards the achievement of your goals. So in all areas of your life, in addition to scaling your personal brand, having organization, having structure, and having a step-by-step process to achieve your goal is very important. The next thing we're going to talk about is the importance of having professional marketing and sales. Because the lifeblood financially of any personal brand or business brand has to do with sales and marketing. And the distinction between the two is really marketing helps you generate leads, sales helps you convert those leads and get the money. And when you put the two together, you can scale a business or you can scale a personal brand. Most personal brands that struggle to scale, just as most business brands that struggle to scale, oftentimes are having an issue with their sales and their marketing. They're not consistently able to generate new leads, new prospects, and turn them into new customers and new clients. And once you're able to solve that bottleneck in your personal brand or business brand, you're able to have an easier scale, which means you're able to reach more people, impact more lives, and make more money. And this isn't a marketing and sales training, and so we're not going to get too into the details of what that looks like for you. All we want to do is bring the high-level awareness that you need to find someone who's really good at sales and marketing. Could be an individual, could be a partner, could be a company, could be an agency. Someone who's really good at sales and marketing to take over that part of the organization and create a system around how you're going to reach people, generate leads and customers so that your business can grow. And so on that note, if you don't want to hire somebody because you're really good at sales and marketing, then you can do that and outsource other parts of the business. And that moves us into the next category, which ties into everything we've been talking about thus far, and that's networking. You see, if you're doing everything by yourself, a lot of the times it can feel lonely. And the journey to building anything, if you're by yourself, can oftentimes create that lack of connection. And so it's very important that you are connected to lots of people in your industry. This way you know about any new changes and innovations happening, and this way you can avoid those feelings of loneliness by having connections to other people that are within your industry. And you can also make sure that you can collaborate and connect with people who can maybe support you and vice versa. A really good way of looking at networking is not finding individuals who you can get something and take something from, but rather look at networking as how can I identify someone who can help me by first seeing how I can help them. And so a metaphor that's a good one to reference is looking at networking and relationships almost as if it was your bank account that you work with. For example, if you opened up a new bank account, a new relationship, you couldn't walk into the bank and ask them to give you money and take a deposit if you've never actually put any money in the account. And so think of relationships like that. If you meet a new person and they can help you, before you ask for their help, figure out a way that you can serve them. Make a deposit before you make a withdrawal. And then you start to create lots of relational capital, lots of relationships that can provide value to you at some point in the future. Like planting a garden with seeds, you don't walk up and rip it out of the ground immediately. You let it get fruitful, and then it can continue to be something of value. A lot of the times people find relationships with networking very draining because they're looking at it the wrong way. A relationship should be about how you can first contribute and add value. And if you do that to enough people, like the old saying goes, if you help everyone get what they want first, you'll get everything that you want second. And so if you're willing to play the long game in your personal brand, in your business, and in your career, you're going to be able to really network your way to the top. Now, the last thing that we're going to talk about is the importance of delegation and outsourcing. Because just as we talked about with systems and organization, it's very important that you don't wear all the hats in your business. Meaning, you're not the accountant and the plumber and the cook and the CEO and the salesperson and the finance department and the content creator. You get the point. If you're all of those things, then you're really a jack of all trades. You're not a specialist or great at necessarily any of those. And if you are, the one that you're great and best at should most likely be the one you stay doing all the time, and then you delegate and outsource the other tasks. Now, I know some of this might seem a little advanced or a little out of reach right now, and that's okay. Because depending on the stage that you're at now in the chapter of your life and your business and your career and your personal brand, some of this information might not fully be relevant for where you're at. And that's okay. This is to give you the over idea of awareness for what needs to be done later or now, depending on which season you're in. So delegating and outsourcing can be as simple as having a friend do something for you, as simple as having someone that you've recently networked with, connected with, built a relationship with, done something for them so that they can do something for you. A lot of the times, a really good way of looking at it is, if you have a high income and impact skill set, use that to help someone else who then has a skill set that can help you with another part in your business. Once you get to the point where you feel you have a good network of people who you can outsource and delegate enough to, or you're making enough money where you can use outsourcing websites. For example, there's a lot of different websites that you can look up online and apps that you can download for pennies on the dollar, and you can hire people around the globe to do low income and low impact tasks and activities that can help you focus on the things you're best at. When it comes to scaling your personal brand, there's obviously a lot more to it. The idea for these free trainings is simply to provide you clarity on the foundational components of what you're going to need to focus more on as you really choose to scale your personal brand based on the goals that you have set. We hope this training has been helpful in the entire series that you've been watching, and we look forward to continuing to serve you through more trainings like this.